What is this pendant I found in my grandpa's stuff? I was going through some of my grandfather's things, because he's in the hospital, and we were looking for some documents and things he needed. Unfortunately, he has late-stage dementia, and can't really identify things very well. It was in a velvet box among some military pins and things in his dresser. It's well worn, but my dad never remembers him wearing it. He is 92 and was a lifelong professor, but his brother was a Marine, and his father and uncles were in various service branches, including a lot of action in the Pacific Theater in World War II. The back has something written, but it's very worn. Thank you for any help in identifying. It's a reproduction of a toothpick and ear picker, found a lot in old European and colonial settlements. Here's a similar one, found at the site of the former settlement of Jamestown during a rediscovery project of the site in the 1990s. And another one was found in 1985 on the Atocha shipwreck, a Spanish treasure galleon that sank in a hurricane off the Florida Keys in 1622. It was used by colonists for personal grooming, specifically for scraping earwax, cleaning dirt from fingernails, and removing scale from teeth. Archaeologists believe these items likely originated in Germany, Italy, or Spain, before being brought to colonial sites like Jamestown. What is this thing I found at the thrift store today? Roughly 7 inches tall and 11 inches across the top. It has a wood hinge top, a cast iron base, and a removable pan with a funneled inner lid. Pressing the ring in the back will lift the lid, and the inner pan looks like it has rusted holes, then was repainted. Part of me thinks it's a foot-operated ashtray. Any info about what this might be would be helpful. It's a 19th century spitoon with lid. It was patented on April 8, 1884 by Benjamin H. Haskins of Mechanicsville, New York. It consists of a case in which an ordinary spitoon is held and concealed. When closed, it can be used as an ottoman or a footrest, and by depressing the footrail, the cover is automatically raised. What is this homemade wooden thing that rotates, found in a thrift store in the southeastern US? Roughly 15 inches long, and it is clearly homemade from cheap pine. It looks at first glance like an old-school apple peeler, but there is no way to attach a blade. I've looked online for similar devices, but can't find it. Can you please help me identify what this thing is? It's a 1990s country cutter spiral slicer for vegetables and onion straws. I've got the same one at home I used to make potato chips. Yours seems to be missing the blade. It's a specialized manual kitchen device used to slice hard fruits and vegetables into continuous thin spirals or strings. What is this heavy metal object in my 1920s home basement in Baltimore? I am very curious what it could be. Maybe something having to do with the original heating system. Let me know if anyone knows what this is. It's a steam engine adjustable boiler tube cleaner. You could adjust the scrapper points at the end to fit the diameter of the tube or pipes needing to be cleaned. Because steam and boiler systems used whatever water was available, and the water usually had a lot of particulates in it, there would eventually be a buildup of residue left behind when the water boiled or steamed off. And without periodic maintenance, it would build up to the point of closing off and cause the system to explode or shut down at the least. So the most cost and time-effective way to do it was to have a Boilermaker serviceman run a system overhaul and clean it all out. What is this cast iron frame stamped Japan at the back? The screw holes on top and bottom suggest more to me of it having been a frame. I'd like to use it at the front door, but not if it was a grave site marker, you know. Does anyone know what this would have been originally used for? It's a vintage cast iron trivet, missing the hand-painted ceramic tile, made in Japan during the 1960s or 1970s. It was intended as a functional hot pad for kitchen pots, or for use as a decorative wall hanging. What is this sewing tool my great-aunt left us? What is it for? I can't find a use for it in sewing, and it was with all of her sewing tools. She was a seamstress in the 30s to the 60s. This is a photo of the other side, and the words on the tip in the first photo say, Austria patent. Someone suggested maybe some sort of stitching guide or template for even spacing, but I think the metal would cut any thread you put in the notches, and there are no numbers or markings, so it wouldn't be useful for measuring. I would say maybe to help make sure stitches are even. But from what I understand, seamstresses of that era were trained from a very young age to be able to do that freehand. Can anyone help identify this? It's a 1920s weaving bar used for darning clothing. It was patented on October 22, 1925, by Franziska Daugart of Sommerda, Germany. It was part of a larger kit that included a darning mushroom to help mend holes in fabrics. The bar has serrations along the side to help guide and hold threads during the weaving process. What is this three-eyed screw thing I found on an old movie set? Around 3 inches wide, 4 inches long, and I found it with a bunch of old film and lighting equipment. Can anyone give me information as to its use? It's an antique cast iron theater stage screw wire guide, used for installing temporary braces holding up movie sets. It was patented on May 15, 1906 by Frank T. Lippincott of Newark, Ohio. It was inserted in the stage floor, walls, or upper structure to provide a fixed point of attachment, so that cables, hooks, guy ropes, etc. may be readily engaged with the ring portions and fastened to the handle. Or the device may be used in connection with the various stage settings and scenery frames as a fastening means or coupling member. What is this thing made of different colors of marble and metal inlay I found in the attic in France? There are 2 of them, and my grandparents must have put these in the attic years ago. Does anyone know what it is? It's a taza that was part of a 3-piece clock garniture for a fireplace mantel, and most likely from France during the late 19th century. This was part of a matching pair of tazas for either side of the clock, and all 3 pieces had matching marble accents and decoration. Rather than serving a functional horological role, the taza acts as a matching side ornament. What is this metal clip labeled Duro Clip, with grips to make closing it easy, and a spring-loaded adjustable clip that clicks into holes to keep it from reopening? It's about 1.5 inches wide, a magnet will pick it up, and there are 7 holes for the locking clip. My friend's father found a couple of dozen of them at a flea market near Buffalo, New York in the mid-90s, and thought they looked like some sort of vintage sewing gizmo, or maybe something to do with an antique sewing machine, and got them for me. It clicks very satisfyingly when you press the grips together to close it, and it will not click in the other direction. Thanks for whatever information anyone can provide. Please tell us down in the comments. Thanks for watching. Let's make life fun.